in our school, I think we're totally misguided in reopening with this whole student load. We've got the guidelines where I can't socially distance my 28 students. I'm needing 2,200 square foot classroom to separate them by 6 feet. With the masks are great, but they're kids. They're going to rub their eyes. There are all kinds of factors that are going to come into play. And I just think you cannot do it safely. No matter what you do, no matter what precautions you take, you just cannot reopen the schools. And I'm not saying that as a teacher who just wants to sit at home and do nothing, which I know some people will argue that, the teachers, we just want the teachers to be able to be paid to stay home and do nothing. That's really not the case.
So, Mark, in conclusion, what is the solution in your opinion?
I think that either a hybrid option where you have half of the student population in the school at a time, so you can space out by 6 feet. But ultimately, I think the optimal choice is to do entirely remote, at least through Thanksgiving.
Thank you for the phone call. Look, as a parent, I don't think remote is ideal, but it comes with all kinds of challenges, right? I've talked to people who we got one computer and 3 kids. How do you do that? Not everybody can set up for the remote. It's
right.
Those of us that are lucky enough to have multiple devices where we can do this, but others don't, and it comes with so many challenges. At least they've had the whole summer to prepare for it, right? Gator, the Detroit Tigers lead the majors in this. I find this to be fascinating. They lead the majors in this. I want to take some guesses as to what it is. Gator, I don't know if you've seen this on Twitter, but if you haven't, I'd like your guess as to what they lead the majors in.
All right.
We'll tell you what it is at 11:50, and we want your texts at 248-539-9797. Text us what you think the Tigers lead the majors in. 248-539-9797. It's Carson Anderson here on The Ticket.
Yo, Mom, I know how you can afford my new skateboard.
And how's that?
SVS Vision has this thing called Kids See Free. When you buy a complete pair of glasses for yourself, SVS Vision will give me a free pair, which means you'll have money for the finer things in life, like
another skateboard? And who's gonna pay for another ER visit?
Come on, Mom, that only happened like 5 times.
Kids See Free at SVS Vision. Get the details at svsvision.com.
You have $1 million home? I got $1 million buyers lined up. Hi, it's Mark Z with EXP. This Radio.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Hall Financial. Go to davidhallmortgage.com.
This is Damon Amendolara with your Radio.com Sports Minute. Of course, there should be discretion when discussing the Cardinals story, that the team contracted COVID by going to a casino. Now, that story's popped up numerous places, and their GM didn't do much to squash that possibility, essentially playing angry dad. I don't think they did, but if I found out that they did, they're going to pay for it. Look, if the Cardinals were at a casino, they deserve to get ripped for it. We all know those places are indoor germ greenhouses. I've never been as sick as I was returning home from Vegas about 15 years ago. I felt like every microbe in the universe had entered my body via their own personal Rose Bowl parade. Look, the Cardinals may as well have just been licking the floor and then gone out for BP if they were at a casino. This is Damon Amendolara.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, Level rate, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Termbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Termbusters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
It's easy to get all the best groceries in town in one trip when you shop at Meijer. Find everything your family needs, from fresh produce to everyday products at low Meijer prices. Save with weekly deals going on now, like delicious peaches for just 69 cents per pound, or frozen novelties from brands like Popsicle or Purple Cow, or buy 3, get 1 free. Get all the things you love for all the people you love, all in one place at Meijer. Some exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Text the ticket now. Ticket text 248-539-9797.
I'll get to some of these texts coming in. The Tigers lead the majors in this. Find it interesting. Anyway, it's 248-539-9797. Text us what you think it is. Gator, do you have any ideas of what you're going to guess?
I mean, I was going to guess initially. I thought home runs, but then they went to a power outage, so it's not that, and it's got to be something with pitching.
Just think about it. I want to get some guesses. So text us at 248-539-9797. We'll tell you what it is coming up shortly. Meanwhile, Sam is in Detroit, and he's next. Hi, Sam.
Hey, what's going on, Doug?
Hey, Sam.
Hey, Ty, how you doing, too? Guys, I was calling in because of the school and choosing whether your child is going to go to school or not. And the decision for you, sending your child to college is different than people deciding if their kids going to go to elementary or high school.
Yep.
But I think it ends up being the same. Remote probably would be the way I would choose, at least my children going to college. Even high school, even having kids going to high school this year and having a split class, part remote, part in class. The problem with the virus is that you don't know what's going on once those children leave. So while they're there, yes, we can keep them socially distant. We can keep them as hand sanitized and washed and clean as much as we could. We can keep them their mouth covered. But when they leave, every household has its own rules and their own way they've been living over the past 6 months anyway. Some people, the only reason why they were at home is because nothing was open. But as soon as things opened up, all the rules of social distancing, mask on if you are around somebody 6 feet, those things have gone out of some people, some households, some people's thought process as they go day to day. Saying that those children would be safe coming back to school every week, every day of that week, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the smart decision's obvious. I really struggle with it, though, because he wants to leave and it's time to go. But at the end of the day, it may be a redshirt year, maybe a few online classes. It's a different challenge at every level, though, right? High school, middle school, elementary school. I mean, how do you get a bunch of elementary school kids to be constantly washing their hands and not touching their face and staying 6 feet apart? And they might be a little bit used to it by now. This has been going on now for 7 months. Whatever, 6 months.
And some age groups are, it looks like the science says that they can't pass that on. But, that's it looks like it's the younger ones. And at what age? I mean, at some point, you're going to have exceptions to every rule. But it seems like kids 8 years old and under aren't really capable of passing it on. That's just what some studies are showing. It's not with any definitive standpoint of that, but that's what it looks like. I wish we had the data where we could conclusively know these things. And that's why it's important that they get as much information as possible.
Here's feedback coming in. The guy who called about OU is wrong, according to my daughter. She is about to start her 5th year, and she said her department is all online.
Well, it depends on the department.
Next one says OU is not doing all classes on site. My daughter goes to OU, and all of her classes have been moved to online. Those are both from unnamed texters. From another unnamed texter, tell me, if your child goes to campus and gets sick, who will the parents blame and want to sue?
Well, there's that.
Well, if my kid goes to campus and gets sick and I have the option to keep him home, I'm going to blame you. And then my final year at Oakland as well, and all 5 of my classes were switched to online for the fall. So the guy called and said all the classes at Oakland were in class. And obviously, there's some discrepancy in that. A lot of people are saying that their classes at OU were online.
He's probably a really bad student, Doug.
UM students have to August 14th to make the housing decision without any penalty. Well, thank you. Texter there. All right, here are the Tiger things. Tigers lead the league in home runs and strikeouts. It's from an unknown texter. Tigers lead the majors with fewest COVID cases. Another unnamed texter. From Christina in Plymouth, the Tigers lead the league in home runs. Next one from Mike in Brighton. Fewest amount of walks allowed. Next one, different starting lineups. Well, now I'm going to have to go back and check some of these to see if they do indeed lead the majors in any of those. That's not what I was looking for. Gator, were any of those your guesses?
No.
And what is your guess?
My guess is strikeouts from the bullpen.
That's a great guess. And I will
Tyler
look up.
Alexander had 10 the other day. I know Soto's been a strikeout machine, so that's my guess.
That is also not what I was looking for, but I will go check. Jason Beck tweeted out the following from MLB.DetroitTigers.com. Tigers having summer camp type workouts today and tomorrow before pitchers face hitters on Thursday, Ron Gardenhire said. One thing the Tigers worked on today, infield shifts. They still lead the MLB with shifts on 70.2% of pitches they've thrown, according to StatCast. Remember, it wasn't that long ago where the Tigers were like the only team not doing this.
They refused to, right?
And now they are doing it more than any other team.
You know, and you think about how ironic this is. They've got a manager, and they've had Ron Gardenhire, was this his 3rd year with the Tigers? Where he is as old school as it gets, right?
Yep.
He's an old school manager who's had to adapt to the world of mathematics and sabermetrics and all this. They had a manager who was an Ivy League scholar, who was part of he was the previous manager when the Tigers did nothing with analytics.
Nothing.
At all. And yet he would be the guy you would think would be able to completely grasp the analytical world. And now we've got Gardenhire. Not that Gardenhire is some idiot out there, but, he's an old school manager that didn't have to do that. So it's like, for him, it's totally learning on the fly.
That is a amazing turnaround for an organization to now be a team that has shifted on more percentage of pitches than any other team in baseball. Crazy. By the way, did you guys talk at all about what the Royals did to the Tigers, or to Miguel Cabrera, when they had all 4 of their infielders playing like 5 feet into the outfield?
No, we did not discuss that.
Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
I've never seen that alignment.
Well, when you got a guy who may not be as fleet of foot as most are, you can get away with that. He hits the ball so hard that it gives you more of an opportunity to react to it.
And he's not going to beat out too many singles if you don't feel it. So.
No, he's not. It would have been funny if he decided to drop a bunt, because he could have easily just gotten to first base. But, he's hit, 3 home runs already this year?
Yeah. 248-539-9797. Back to your open line calls, John and Howell. Hi, John.
Hey, Doug.
Okay.
Hey, well, first of all, I'd like to go for the loss. Your guys' loss. Your gang and everybody at night. I think it's such a sad tragic loss to me. I thought to myself, and just my heart goes out to all you do. First of all, I want to say that.
Thank you very much.
Second, about COVID. So I've been looking at the numbers from the Michigan website, the actual data, because I'm a numbers guy. I like to look at numbers, I like to deal with facts and things like that. So basically, looking at ages 20 to 29, which is kind of I know your son's 18, but they don't really have that statistics. 20 is less than 5. So looking at 2029, and if you look at number of cases, so first of all, out of 100 people in that age, one person is basically been affected by COVID. So that's, and then if you look at...
What do you mean by affected?
Yeah, what do you mean by affected?
That's got COVID. Diagnostically tested to have COVID. So 1 out of 100 for that age group for 2029.
The average is 1% of people between the ages of 20 and 29 are coming down with COVID.
Yes,
okay.
From the Michigan website. So if you take 500 of those people who got COVID in that age group, and one of those 500 have died from COVID. Okay.
Is that what the ratio is?
Yes, that's what it is. That's what I mean. So if you look at that in terms of the entire population of 20 to 29-year-olds, it boils down to 1 out of 50,000 20 to 29-year-olds in Michigan have died from COVID.
All right, now let's try this then. Out of that,
that's useful.
It is useful, but then you start to put in real-world application into it, what's actually happened. Out of those people that have tested positive, how many of them tested positive were at Harper's? We're at that party in Saline. We're at that party in Grosse Pointe. We're up north at Torch Lake. How many of those young people were there? Because this is what you have to worry about. Generally speaking, people can be really safe. But when they make stupid decisions and go out like that, which is what would happen when they go to college, because let's face it, now you're all together and you're going to make those decisions. Those numbers will change drastically, wouldn't you think?
Well, I mean, these are numbers from the beginning of COVID. So
I get that. I'm just saying, but when you put them into a situation where they're going to school, don't you think those numbers would change dramatically?
Well, I would hope with what we know now about the disease and things that we can do.
I hope so too. The other thing I worry about, and we're out of time here, but I do appreciate it because it is useful information. The other thing I worry about, and Gator, you've hammered this point home, you can catch COVID, not die, and have serious lifelong implications, ramifications from that.
Yeah, or life. They don't have to be lifelong. They can be long term. They could be long term. Could mean 6 months. It could mean 60 years. Who knows?
There was a very scary post on Facebook that has me thinking. It's about a college athlete. We'll get to that today at 12:05. Carson Anderson, 97.1.
Grab a delicious, creamy, small Wendy's Frosty Cheeto for just $1. It's the perfect treat for any time of the day. Whether you're just starting your day, looking for an afternoon pick-me-up, or craving a late-night sweet, a small Frosty Cheeto is the move. And it's only $1. Tomorrow's looking good at Wendy's. Available for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. And now, another stroke of genius from Genesis Credit Union. Today, Genius Flex Home Equity. I'm no remodeling guru, so I built a relationship with Genesis Credit Union. Their Flex Home Equity works like a variable interest credit line, but allows a lock-in to convert outstanding balances to a fixed-rate home equity loan. With 28 locations and 30,000 ATMs, stop by or check us out at genesiscu.org. That's genius. That's Genesis. Equal housing opportunity. Annual percentage rate is tied to the prime rate and based on credit qualifications.
Gentlemen, facing a divorce can be difficult, but you're not alone. Adam, the American Divorce Association for Men, is here to help. Call Adam today at 248-356-2326 and we can answer your questions or schedule a meeting by phone or video chat. Call Adam today.
When big things happen in Detroit sports, you hear it first on Detroit's #1 sports station, 97.1. The Ticket. Breaking news powered by Radio.com Sports and brought to you by Pennzoil. Motor oils from natural gas. The proof is in the Pennzoil. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A Radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk, this is 97.1 The Ticket.
As expected, the Tiger series against the St. Louis Cardinals postponed by Major League Baseball yesterday after 13 Cardinals players and coaches tested positive for the coronavirus in recent days. Talking to reporters earlier today, pitcher Matthew Boyd was asked if it's disappointing to not be playing games for the next couple of days.
The gut reaction is like, oh man, but in that it's not my place to judge. We don't know what happened, right? There's no official word. So to pass judgment on them, especially not knowing what happened, it's not my place, you know? So with that, you kind of have that reality check and say, oh, well.
According to stories out of St. Louis, the outbreak reportedly stemmed from a couple of Cardinals players going to a casino during a road trip last week. Today marks another day of strength and conditioning workouts for the Lions, as week 2 of training camp will continue for players and coaches at the team's complex in Allen Park. According to stories today out of New Jersey, 28 Rutgers football players and staff members have now officially tested positive for the coronavirus over the last 2 weeks, the result of a number of Scarlet Knights players reportedly attending a party on the Rutgers campus last month. That surge in positive cases have forced school officials to suspend voluntary workouts indefinitely. That surge could also force those officials to delay the start of fall camps, which are scheduled to begin next week. The NCAA Board of Governors will meet again today on a conference call where the subject of canceling championships in fall sports will be discussed. It's expected the board will table any decisions for Division I athletics today, but could cancel fall championships for schools that compete in Division II and III, which would be bad news for local schools like Wayne State and Lawrence Tech, who compete at that level. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
Doug Kosh. That is nasty. That is the hairiest leg I've ever seen.
And Scott the Gator Anderson.
How do you like them apples? Huh? Stare at it long and hard next time.
On 97.1 The Ticket.
So for people just joining us, we're still dealing with and struggling with the loss of Jamie Samuelson over the weekend. It just still one of the most shocking things that has ever happened, and I know it's hard to go on and just talk about sports. We're trying to today and talk about other things, but I gotta tell you, it hits me every once in a while, Gator. I just still can't believe it. I just still can't believe it. And Jamie was so brave and fought so hard, and you know, listening to Wojo last night, it was very close with Jamie. It was just heartbreaking. But life is incredibly unfair sometimes, and this is a prime example of that. And our thoughts and prayers continue to be with Christy and those kids and his family, because this is a tough one, man. This is a really, really tough one. And we do appreciate all the calls that come in. A lot of people continue to offer their condolences. You all right over there?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
What happened?
I had a situation with the hound.
Okay.
We're good now. I'm back.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just talking about Jamie, and we're still struggling.
Yeah, you know what's really cool to see is when you'll never know the full extent of how great of a person he was. And what's cool is that every day, it seems like every minute, there's some new post that comes out where somebody who we don't know, it's a listener or somebody that was a friend of his, comes out and shares just a little tidbit about Jamie. And, you know, it just further exemplifies what an amazing person he was. Forget what a broadcaster he was. What was he as a person? And, I mean, his parents did an amazing job of raising that young man, because what he does on a daily basis, what he did on a daily basis, was to respond to emails, respond to text messages, give people the time of day, take the time to try to get to know them a little bit, do all those little things that we can all do to become better people, right? Like, hey, if you dropped off a bottle of wine, hey, this is for your birthday or happy anniversary, whatever, you'd get a card, or he would take the time to thank you for that and make it personal to you. If you were fortunate enough to get a Christmas card from him, guess what? It was personalized, every one of them. And it's great to see that. And, he truly was somebody who set the standard of what it was to be a better human being. And, the world's not a better place without him. But because we're all talking about it, I think the world can be a better place if we learn from his example of how to live life. As just a better human being, a better father, a better husband, a better coworker, whatever the case was. I mean, that guy seemingly lived without conflict, except for, what ultimately took his life.
And
one of the reasons why he did those great things, Gator, is he was egoless. He really never put himself above and thought he was better than anyone else. He would return all those emails and try to help young college kids trying to get into business and just say hi to people. And like you said, if they gave him a gift, personalize something or personalize a thank you in return, because he just was a great person. I said yesterday, he's good to the core. And kind of unfortunately is he was so egoless, he kept this to himself for so long. I wish he would have said something, for me, selfishly, I wish he would have said something a little earlier so he could see the outpouring of the effect he had in so many people for being here for so long and the impact that he made. Because when Wojo told the story about when they're on a phone call together, and I guess he had questioned to Wojo a little bit about if he had left any kind of impact here in Detroit. Yeah. That broke my heart that he thought that. And that's why I wish he could have seen, I know he would have been embarrassed, but I think he would have appreciated it so much too, because he doesn't like to be the center of attention, but I think it's something that he would have really loved to hear and enjoy from everyone and been embarrassed at the same time.
Yeah, at some point, Jamie would have gone, all right.
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
All right, let's go 97.
Yeah, exactly. That's Jamie. Yep. And that's Jamie. He was such a great guy, man.
248-539-9797. It was interesting because just listening to story after story on all the shows, people called up saying, I was at a station event, Jamie came over and talked to me. Jamie hosted an event, Jamie talked to every table at the event. Jamie was a keynote speaker at a Cubs scout event. He talked to every scout there. I mean, it was just story like that after story like that, and taking time out to make people feel special. So he is missed dearly. We are continuing to talk about the decision people have about whether or not to go to school, with an announcement yesterday from President Stanley in East Lansing, who I think is a pretty credible guy on this because he's got a background in biomedical research. Says, hey, if you can stay home, we're encouraged to stay home. Take your classes online and stay home. Which may be counterintuitive or counterproductive when it comes to the bottom line the school has and the money they'll bring in for housing, right? But if it's the right thing to do, it's the right thing to do, and good for him. Michigan is urging students who want to come to campus to quarantine for 2 weeks and they have to get tested before they move on to campus housing. We're trying to decide if we're going to send our son off, and it's a really difficult decision. Meanwhile, I mentioned this, Gator, before the break. Did you hear about this Indiana football player, this offensive lineman, a freshman, Brady Freeney?
I had heard, it was like earlier in the summer, he had tested positive and had been hospitalized, and now I think he's out of the hospital, but it's a cautionary tale.
Here is the Facebook post from his mom. My son was negative when he got tested at the beginning of volunteer workouts. This is a freshman offensive lineman at Indiana, Brady Freeney. Within 3 weeks, he and multiple other players tested positive. His university has done everything right by shutting down workouts and retesting the whole team. Unfortunately, this virus hit my son very hard compared to most of his teammates. Here was a kid in perfect health, great physical condition, and due to the virus, ended up going to the ER because of breathing issues. After 14 days of hell battling this horrible virus, his school did additional testing on all of those that were positive. My son even received extra tests because he was one of the worst cases. Now we are dealing with possible heart issues. He's not experiencing additional symptoms. He is still experiencing additional symptoms, and his blood work is indicating additional problems. Maybe this is the rare case scenario, and again, you made this point, you were the first one I heard that it really has hammered this point home. You can catch COVID, survive, but have some long-lasting health implications. And we just don't know enough, which makes it scary and makes all these decisions, by the way, incredibly hard to make. So anyway, I think that's another cautionary tale,
Yeah, and it's another difference between this and the flu. Flu, you can feel miserable for a few days. You'll get back. You're going to be weaker, but eventually you get your strength back. But do you have inflammation in your heart? Do you have potentially permanent lung damage? Typically, no. So it all needs to be taken very seriously, and I think every day more and more people are taking it seriously. Obviously, we'd love to have things opened up completely when it comes to the economy, getting the economy back. We'd love to send kids to school, get teachers back to work, but everything that we want to be done can be done, but it has to be done safely. And until you can put those protocols in place to make everything safe, it's going to continue to be put on hold.
248-539-9797. Ed is in Alpena. He's on 97.1. Hi, Ed.
Hey guys. So like first let me say my heart goes out to all of you guys in the studio, Jamie's family, everybody that he ever encountered. What a great guy he was on the radio.
Yeah.
The reason I'm calling is my daughter's going in first grade. I'm not sending her to school. The reason is, like I told your college students, we are still paying taxes. The school being shut down is going to save on all these bills that would come with the school and this, that, and the other. Just like all these colleges, they can do online classes and teachers can still get paid. Are they going to make as much money? No, but most of them have endowments in the hundreds of millions of dollars. On top of all the tax money, they're still going to generate. So, no, we will survive. Like I tell my daughter, you don't need that ice cream. I promise you will. You will survive, and I have. We will survive without college sports for a year. But to put these students, like the kid right there in Indiana you just talked about, in harm's way, that to me is insane.
Yeah, I think college it's a different animal altogether compared to, I think, elementary school and middle school and even at the high school. Doug brought up the point earlier. What's difficult with non-college students is, not everybody has a laptop. Not everybody has a device that they can use to do the online learning or the virtual learning. So there's a balancing act, and it's not easy to do. And if local schools are going to say, this school district says we're not going back, we're just doing online learning, what do you do for the family that doesn't have that ability? And how do you ensure that they do get that ability?
248-539-9797. It's Carson Anderson here on The Ticket.
Businesses are starting to bounce back. But what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt, deliver, and succeed in new ways with new customers? At Comcast Business, we're committed to helping you not just bounce back, but bounce forward. That's why we're offering powerful and reliable internet and voice, now for only $35 each a month when you buy both and sign up for EcoBill and AutoPay with a 2-year agreement. It'll help you stay ahead with a network you can count on. Stay connected with 24/7 support and thrive with flexible solutions that work wherever you are. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go online today to find out more. Comcast Business. Offer ends 8/21/2020. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 35 megabits internet and 1 voice mobility line. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay required. Equipment installation taxes and fees extra, subject to change.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of our roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in our buildings to keep people healthy. Go to amazon.com/apply. That's amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
If you like country music and star-studded award shows, then you'll love 5-Hour Energy CMA Awards Sweepstakes. 5-Hour Energy wants to send you on a guest to Music City to bask in the glow of music's brightest stars at the 2020 CMA Awards. To enter, buy any 5-Hour Energy product. Snap a picture of the receipt and upload it. For official rules on how to enter without purchase, go to 5HECountry.com. Sweepstakes ends October 10th, 2020. Must be U.S. resident 18 years or older. Void where prohibited. Sponsored by Living Essentials, LLC.
Morning.
How'd you get in my house, E?
Through the air conditioning vent. It's dark in there.
Go away.
How about some Honey Nut Cheerios?
Cheerios. Do I look like a child to you?
Honey Nut Cheerios are tasty and can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet. Did you just
No.
I'm pretty sure I heard a
It was my dryer.
You might want to get that thing checked out. Have a change of heart. Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
When it comes to flooring options for the pro, no one covers floors better than the Home Depot. With over 300,000 flooring supplies online and in-store, plus in-demand styles, from modern mosaics to waterproof vinyl and laminates. We buy more than anyone else, so you'll save more than anywhere else, with everyday low prices and even bigger savings when you purchase by the pallet. The pro's best option when it comes to flooring. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only.
Indeed knows you've got big goals for your business, and we understand hiring is a crucial part of that. You need to hire people who will make a real impact. Indeed can help you find those important hires faster while paying only for what you need without any long-term contracts, thanks to our super flexible payment options. Start finding your important hire today with a free $75 credit for your first job post and get in front of more quality candidates. Go to Indeed.com/high impact. That's Indeed.com/high impact. Terms and conditions apply.
From muscle pain, body aches, to strains, Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis. It works fast and you won't stink. Its unique formula with emu oil penetrates deep to relieve arthritis pain, sore muscles, joints, and more. Your opinion matters. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 The Ticket Studio line at 248-539-9797. Book your stay at the D by visiting thed.com. The D Las Vegas, the home of Detroit sports in Vegas. The Detroit Tigers play the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pre-game Friday at 6:40 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Let's get back to your open line calls, 248-539-9797. Barry is in Royal Oak, and he's on 97.1. Hi, Barry.
Hey, guys. I'm so sorry for your loss. I was calling because I know the bit that Jamie, really used to not care for mock drafts. And I always thought it was funny. And I don't know if you guys remember, I don't know if it was this year. I think it was actually last year's, where you guys were getting ready to come on. And Jamie ruined it. He told Gator what the draft pick was. I think it was probably one of Mel Kiper's last mock picks. And I remember he did that. I was mad. Like, I was angry for doing that. So of course I had to tweet at him, because that's what we all do nowadays, So I tweeted at Jamie and I said, man, I thought you were a cool guy, but now I think you're kind of a jerk. And he tweeted back, which I just would have never expected. But I'm just going to what you said, Gator. He responded and he tweeted back and he was like, dude, I don't even know why I did that. Like, it really wasn't cool. Like, I don't remember the exact words, but he was like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, and I feel bad if I ruined, it's just saying what you said, Gator. He responded to people, and I wasn't, super angry at him, but I was mad. I sent out a tweet. I never expected to hear back from him, and sure enough, he responded back, and he's like, yeah, dude, that wasn't cool. Kind of like, I'm not really sure why I did that, but, and I just thought it was...
It's another trait that everyone can take from him, and that's always be accountable, and he was.
I just you just don't expect to hear back from somebody. You get it off your chest, and now, of course, I feel like an ass for even doing it in the first place. But, I just thought it was, when you mentioned that, I just thought, you know what, I have a story to tell, because the one time I tweeted at JB, I was a jerk and was kind of yelling at him, and sure enough, he tweeted back. I was like, dude, yeah, that probably wasn't very cool of me, and my bad. And I'm like, you know what, that was really cool. He didn't have to do that or whatever.
Yeah, because we would have tweeted something back like, dude, don't grip the club so tightly. and Jamie takes the higher road and says, yeah, I know, I'm sorry.
It's funny because Jamie hated the mock drafts. And we've embraced him so much, and we go back and forth. It was one of the areas where Jamie and I were really different.
Right, but it's also one of those things where every time it was brought up, in our crosstalk, I felt like I had to justify why we love the mock draft, constantly saying, look, it's not, we don't take them that seriously. It's just, it gives us a barometer of, what players are coming to mind with the media members when it looks what the Lions are going to do in the draft. That's all we, you try to justify as much as possible. And he's like, yeah, I get it. Whatever.
But Jamie was so brilliant that he could use that to make fun of us. You know what I mean? Like in a witty way, not like a stupid way. I mean, it was clearly been Jamie. He's like, dude, you guys are so stupid with your mock drafts. But he'd find a way to work it in the crosstalk with us, or tweet something out at us and make a great joke out of it. And he was just great that way, brilliant, and you do it in a just really smart way. You know, I just appreciated that.
I'm trying to find the tweet actually. But there are some. I've scrolled back to where I'm like in April, and there is some tweets here of JB making fun of mock drafts. But 248-539-9797. Mickey in Ferndale. Hi, Mickey.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What's up?
Hey, I just want to tell you a story about Jamie that